Have you ever seen an image, a dream, or a strange coincidence and felt a shiver run down your spine without knowing why? That's not random. It's a symbol, and it's speaking directly to your subconscious mind. Most people underestimate the power of symbols. They think of them as simple images, screen icons, text emojis, or cultural signs. But that's only the surface. Beneath it lies something far more potent. Symbols are the unconscious language. They are how your deeper mind understands reality. They shape your beliefs, decisions, and emotions, often without you even realizing it. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, believed that symbols are the keys to unlocking the hidden parts of the psyche. He said that what we do not bring to consciousness appears in our lives as fate. And those unconscious forces, they are structured and moved by symbols, archetypal images that carry emotional weight and ancient meaning. But how exactly do symbols affect you? And what does modern neuroscience say about the subconscious mind that Jung intuited decades ago? Let's start at the beginning. When you dream, dreams are one of the purest expressions of the subconscious mind. They bypass your logical filters and communicate in a language that is emotional, metaphorical, and nonlinear. That language is symbolic. You don't dream in spreadsheets or bullet points. You dream in images, falling, flying, chasing, drowning, facing someone you haven't seen in years. And every image, every pattern, is packed with meaning. Jung noticed that certain images appeared again and again in the dreams of people from different cultures, even if they had never met. He called these universal images archetypes. The wise old man, the shadow, the hero, the mother, the trickster. These aren't just characters, they're psychological forces within you. When you encounter a symbol of the hero, for example, your subconscious awakens your inner courage. When you see a shadowy figure, you confront your repressed fears. And this isn't just poetic theory. Neuroscience backs it up. Your brain doesn't just process information logically. It's constantly scanning for patterns, associations, and emotional relevance. The amygdala, the brain's emotional processor, lights up when you see a symbol that resonates with a core experience, especially one tied to survival, memory, or trauma. Let's say you see a burning house in a dream. Your conscious mind might brush it off, but your subconscious recognizes it as a symbol of inner crisis, destruction, or change. Even if you don't get it consciously, your brain has already triggered emotional responses, rewired neural pathways, and reinforced certain beliefs, simply because of the symbolic content. That's how powerful symbols are. They shape your brain. But there's more. Jung believed that when a symbol appears repeatedly in your dreams, thoughts, or life experiences, it's not a coincidence. It's what he called a meaningful synchronicity. It's as if the unconscious is sending you a message again and again, trying to push you toward integration, healing, or transformation. And the symbols aren't random. They're tailored to your unique inner world. If you grew up with religious imagery, your psyche might use angels or crosses to signal protection or morality. If you watched a lot of science fiction, your unconscious might communicate through space, aliens, or dystopian cities. The subconscious speaks your language, but in code. It's up to you to decipher it. This is where the inner work begins. Think about your recurring dreams, the images that haunt or comfort you, the symbols that show up in your art, writing, or imagination. Those aren't meaningless. They're maps, clues, messages from the parts of yourself that you've forgotten or pushed aside. The more you pay attention to them, the more integrated you become. And here's something even deeper. Symbols don't just reflect your inner world, they can transform it. Neuroscience shows that visualization and symbolic imagery activate many of the same neural pathways as real experiences. That means if you vividly imagine walking through a forest, facing your fears, or embracing your inner child, your brain starts building those emotional responses into your actual self. This is why symbolic rituals like journaling, meditation, or even drawing your dreams can lead to powerful psychological shifts. You're not just expressing something, you're rewiring your mind. Let's take an example. Suppose you constantly dream about being chased. This is one of the most common symbolic dreams. On the surface, it's just fear. But if you look deeper, what's chasing you? Is it a person, a shadow, a creature? Your subconscious is externalizing something within you, something unresolved, something you're avoiding. Now, imagine instead of running in the dream, you turn around and face it, or even speak to it. That shift in symbolic action changes everything. In Jungian terms, you begin the process of individuation, facing the shadow, reclaiming your power, and integrating the parts of yourself you've exiled. Symbolic confrontation leads to real psychological change, and this applies beyond dreams. Look at the symbols you surround yourself with, the art on your walls, the music you listen to, the shows you binge. Every one of those carries symbolic weight. They reflect aspects of your psyche. Do you gravitate toward chaos, order, rebellion, romance, darkness, or light? What you are drawn to symbolically reveals what you are seeking internally. This is the subtle language of the subconscious. In therapy, especially Jungian analysis, patients are often asked to draw, write, or meditate on symbolic imagery. Why? Because symbols bypass your mental defenses. You can lie to yourself in words, but it's harder to lie with a symbol. Your choice of image will always reveal more than you realize. And as neuroscience shows, these images don't just express your state, they influence it. Looking at a serene landscape, for example, reduces cortisol. Staring at abstract chaos can increase anxiety. Your brain responds to visual cues faster than to verbal ones. And those visual cues are encoded with meaning from your life, your culture, and your ancestors. It's a layered map. Jung also believed in the concept of the collective unconscious, a shared symbolic reservoir inherited by all humans. That's why certain symbols resonate across cultures and epochs. The serpent, the tree, the labyrinth, the phoenix. These aren't just stories, they're living energies, alive in your subconscious, shaping your journey. And when you work with symbols consciously, when you meditate on them, draw them, engage with them, you create a bridge between your surface self and your deeper mind. This bridge is what Jung called the path to wholeness. So many people live fragmented lives. They chase goals that aren't their own. They suppress feelings that are too painful to face, and slowly they disconnect from themselves. Symbols offer a way back. They are the trail markers through the forest of the unconscious, and they will always lead you home if you're willing to follow them. We are not rational creatures with occasional emotions. We are emotional, symbolic beings with the illusion of rationality. The sooner we accept this, the sooner we can begin to heal. The question is, are you paying attention? If your life feels off track, your dreams are anxious, or your creativity has dried up, it may not be a problem of logic or planning. It may be a symbolic crisis. You've lost touch with the images that once gave your life meaning. That's the wound. But it's also the invitation. Your subconscious is constantly speaking. Through dreams, through attraction, through fear, through the symbols you can't stop thinking about. Are you listening? Your healing may begin not with a decision, but with an image. A symbol that reminds you of who you really are. Let's go deeper. There is a reason symbols outlast civilizations. Languages die. Empires fall. But the symbol of the serpent, the eye, the cross, the spiral, they remain, not just as relics, but as living currents in the collective human psyche. They speak to something eternal in us, something pre-verbal, primal, and wise. Modern science is only beginning to understand what mystics and philosophers have intuited for centuries. That your subconscious mind does not operate through linear language or cold logic. It operates through imagery, emotion, rhythm, and story. And symbols are the building blocks of those stories. Let's pause here. Think about a symbol that has haunted or inspired you since childhood. Maybe it's a place, a creature, a color, an object. You might not even know why it feels powerful, but it does. That feeling is not random. Your brain has coded that image with deep associations, possibly linked to early memory, trauma, awe, or longing. And when you return to that symbol later in life, especially during moments of crisis, it acts like a compass. It draws you back towards something unresolved. That is the subconscious at work, not sabotaging you, but inviting you to integrate. Integration is the key. Carl Jung believed that the goal of life is not to be perfect, but to be whole. Wholeness requires facing your contradictions, embracing your fears, and reclaiming the forgotten parts of yourself. Symbols are the tools that help you navigate that journey, like ancient maps drawn in your dreams. And here's where it gets fascinating. Your brain physically changes when you engage with meaningful symbols. Through neuroplasticity, every time you visualize a symbolic image, reflect on it deeply, or even engage with it in meditation or ritual, you activate neural networks tied to memory, emotion, and self-perception. These networks begin to strengthen, adapt, and rewire. So when you repeatedly expose yourself to empowering, healing, or integrating symbols, you are reconstructing your internal world. Your mind reshapes its reality around the images you give attention to. This is why art heals, why mythology still moves us, why ancient stories carry timeless relevance. Because they don't just inform you, they transform you. Let's go even deeper. The symbols that disturb you are often more revealing than the ones that comfort you. If a particular image causes discomfort, avoidance, or even fear, it's usually tied to a shadow aspect of your psyche. Something repressed, denied, or unacknowledged. Jung referred to this as the shadow, the part of ourselves that holds what we've rejected or hidden. And the only way to truly grow is to face it. Imagine seeing a recurring symbol in your life, a dark staircase, a closed door, a masked figure. These aren't just random images. They're invitations. Invitations to descend, to open, to unmask. When you resist them, they become louder, more chaotic. But when you turn toward them, something miraculous happens. Transformation. The symbol becomes a portal, not just to knowledge, but to power. This is how you access the deeper reserves of strength within you, not by suppressing the symbol, but by engaging with it, drawing it, meditating on it, asking what it means, what it wants, and listening. Neuroscience confirms that this act of conscious attention rewires your relationship with fear, memory, and identity. By reframing the symbolic content in your life, you reframe your self-image. So what symbols are running your life in the background? Most people are ruled by unconscious imagery that they never question. The broken mirror of shame, the cage of unworthiness, the storm of anxiety. These are not just emotions, they're symbolic structures embedded in the subconscious. And they influence your decisions, your relationships, even your posture and voice. But what if you changed the image? What if you replaced the cage with a key, the storm with a sunrise, the broken mirror with a window? This isn't denial, it's symbolic reorientation. And it works. Trauma therapists now use visualization techniques that mirror symbolic transformation. Guided imagery, safe places, inner child work. All of these tap into the subconscious using symbolic language because they bypass the rational mind and speak directly to the emotional brain. Symbolic healing is real healing. Jung also spoke of the self, a deeper center of the psyche that transcends the ego. It's the wholeness behind your fragmented personality. And the self often appears in dreams as a symbol. A mandala, a wise figure, a circle, a divine child. When you begin encountering these images in your inner world, it's not fantasy. It's your unconscious revealing the blueprint of your integration. It's showing you that something in you is trying to unify. But this process requires courage, because before the light, there's darkness. Before the integration, there was fragmentation. And that's where many people turn away. They fear the symbols that reveal their brokenness, not realizing that those very images carry the medicine. You don't need to fix yourself. You need to face yourself. That's what symbols offer. A mirror, not of how the world sees you, but of how your soul sees you. And that mirror can be terrifying. But it can also be liberating. The truth is, your mind is a myth-making machine. It's constantly creating narratives about who you are, what you deserve, and where you're going. Those narratives are built on symbols, some inherited, some personal. The key is to become aware of the myth you're living. Are you the victim, the hero, the orphan, the seeker, the outcast? These are not just roles, they're symbolic containers for identity. And if you live unconsciously inside the wrong symbol, you'll suffer. But if you choose consciously, you'll transform. You are the storyteller. And the story is written in symbols. That's why so many people feel stuck. They are living inside a symbol that no longer fits. A cage that once protected them, but now limits them. And until they see it as a symbol, not reality, they can't escape. So here's the invitation. Examine the symbols that shape your inner world. What do you see in your dreams? What images do you fear? What symbols give you hope? What stories are you repeating? And who gave them to you? You can choose new symbols, not to erase the past, but to reframe it, not to deny your pain, but to give it meaning. This is the essence of transformation, when you see your suffering not as punishment, but as passage. When the broken sword becomes a relic of strength. When the scar becomes a mark of wisdom. When the fall becomes the initiation. And the best part, you don't need to understand it all intellectually. Your subconscious already knows. It has always been known. It's been speaking to you since the moment you were born, in dreams, in instincts, in patterns, in longings. The symbols are already there. All you have to do is look. So now I ask you, what is one symbol that keeps showing up in your life through dreams, signs, or even artwork? And what might it be trying to tell you? Share it in the comments. I read everything. and your symbol might help someone else understand their own journey too. You are more than your thoughts. You are more than your habits. You are more than your fears. You are a symbolic being, rich, deep, ancient. And the more you reconnect with that inner language, the more whole you become. The symbol is not the end. It is the door, so open it. If this video spoke to something deep in you, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Your mind is waiting. Your symbols are waiting. Your transformation has already begun.